As the protests ring out around it, Parliament will bear witness to an evening of intense drama. But assuming Mrs May's deal is voted down, what might be happening next? And how might she fight back? Time to reveal her plan B, and she has until next Monday to present it to the Commons. A modified plan would require further negotiations with the EU, making it more likely that Article 50 could be delayed.
To extend Article 50, all that needs to be done is that the UK government needs to submit a request to the EU, and all of the EU member states, so all 27 countries, need to approve of that. So the actual process is quite simple. It just requires the UK government to decide it wants to extend it, and then that is pending the approval of the EU 27.
More immediately, the future of the government will hang in the balance if Labour tables a no confidence motion. So what happens if that goes against the government?
If the Commons has no confidence in the government, you then have 2 weeks for other parties to try and find a way of forming a government that can command the majority. That doesn't look great because the other parties don't have a majority. Even if you put Labour together with the Greens, with the Lib Dems, with the SNP, it doesn't matter. The numbers don't really seem to work. So it seems that at the end of that period, after the 2-week period, chances are no parties would have been able to really say they can form a government, and you'd go into a general election situation.
There is, of course, the no-deal scenario, if Parliament cannot come together behind an alternative. Some say leaving the EU regardless will bring its own benefits.
We can instantly start doing trade deals, we can start to cut away and remove the daft regulations from the European Union.
What about
There's so many opportunities.
Disruption? What about the possible disruption?
Look, there might be some short-term disruption because the Chancellor refused to allow no-deal preparation and planning early enough. But we will soon get through that. If we're a bit short of Mars bars for a couple of weeks, look, it's not the end of the world.
Amid all this, campaigners for a second referendum say their option becomes more viable.
I think a defeat for the government tonight increases the chance of a people's vote hugely. It's clear to me that there is no majority in Parliament for the government's Brexit deal.
There are several routes to take, but it's complicated. The coming weeks, the coming hours will be forged in history. Julian Drucker, 5 News.